Hari Bol and Hari Krishna to all my brothers and my sisters, and welcome back to Astro Motivation. Today we're going to be talking about Mars, the planet in each individual house, and what does that mean for you? Let's check it out.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
The planet Mars is a very important planet in our charts that represents the action and the drive and the motivation in our lives. And so let us check out what does Mars mean, some remedies for it, and of course, the different placements in each individual house. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Vinodini Dasi. I am a Vedic astrologer, author, and practitioner of Bhakti Yoga. So if you are into ancient philosophy, Vedic astrology, and self-development, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss any of the nectar. So guys, the planet Mars is a very powerful planet, and in Vedic astrology, the planet Mars is called Mangala. And Mangala has a very, very important task in our charts. But let us first start with understanding the birth of Mars and how did Mars came about. It is important to understand the pastimes in Vedic philosophy so that we can actually understand the energy of the planet and their influence on our lives. So Mars was actually born from Shiva's energy. Shiva, the destructor. There's the Trinity, which is Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the maintainer, and Shiva, the destroyer or the one who transforms. And so Shiva was meditating, and in the Shiva Purana it is said that he was meditating very, very diligently, very, very focused. And in this meditation that he was doing, there was a drop of his sweat that came out of his forehead. And this was a fiery essence from all his tapasya, from all his austerities and hard work and discipline and strength, that it fell into the earth and during some deep meditation. So the earth received this drop of sweat, and so the energy was nurtured by Bhumi Devi. Bhumi Devi is the name for Mother Earth in Sanskrit. And this is why Mars is also called Bhauma, which is the son of Earth. So this gives Mars naturally like this Shiva raw power and energy, while at the same time this grounded action that Bhumi Devi, that the earth naturally has. Now, this is the planet that teaches us about the warrior dharma. Okay, the dharma of the warrior, the duty of the warrior. And we all have a little bit of warrior in us. If not, we wouldn't have the energy to actually survive in this world. We need this spark of life, this will to live, to actually survive in this material world. And so Mars is described as celestial commander, and it represents the protection of righteousness. That is exactly what soldiers and warriors should be doing, especially Kshetras. They are known for being the ones who actually protect the Brahmanas being the priests caste who are the ones who uphold the Dharma and uphold the knowledge and the wisdom. So they're the ones who protect the weak, the innocent, and the Dharmic, and the Brahmanas, the wise ones. Also, it is the courage in battle. And we know and we understand that this material world is actually a battlefield of life. Okay, we don't come here to just relax. We come here to fight every single day. We fight every day for our lives. We fight diseases. We fight enemies. We fight obstacles. We fight issues. We fight problems. This is the nature of this material world. Nothing is infinitely perfect or infinitely blissful. This only happens in the spiritual world. And so we need this courage in battle, courage to stand, courage to go forward. This is one of the reasons too why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, a lot of people don't understand why the Bhagavad Gita being such a powerful scripture, Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to fight. And he's encouraging Arjuna to fight because that is his dharma, that is his duty. And when you read the Bhagavad Gita, and I highly encourage you to read the Bhagavad Gita as it is, this Bhagavad Gita will naturally bring you that essence of how am I going to fight in this life and do it right? How am I going to stand up and do it? Because even non-action and deciding not to do anything, or deciding to just, neglect the responsibility or not do the responsibility or just play aloof, this is still an action, and this action will still cause some sort of reaction to it. So the courage in battle is important, and that's why Mars is important in our charts. The ability to act decisively. This is another very important thing. The ability to know when to act, and like if there's an emergency happening, we need to know how to act. We need to know how to take action. We need to go and do it. Like our firemen and our policemen and all the people who risk their lives to help others, they have a natural sense and ability to know decisively when to act and when is the right time to do it. And so it is the force that defends truth. It is the force that protects truth and defends truth. So it's not a matter of just conflict and aggression and violence. This is more of the lower aspects and the shadow aspects of Mars. But in reality, we have to understand that if anger was not meant to be there, then God wouldn't have created anger. So anger is there because anger is important. And anger is there to protect boundaries. When boundaries are being crossed, especially when there's people who are committing crimes, or people who are doing wrong things, or people who are mistreating the truth, or mistreating the innocent, or mistreating the women and the children, the anger should be placed on these people, specifically on these people who are not following the rules and regulations of truth and dharma. So punishment is actually a sort of mercy in the end. A lot of people may see that punishment is like a bad thing, or, oh, they hurt me. But actually, the one who punishes is actually having a lot of mercy on this person, because it's trying to correct them out of love, correct them so that they don't keep making mistakes and damage their soul path. Because every action has a reaction. So free for all, do as thy will, is a pretty demonic attitude. Because in reality, there is a law of cause and effect. And even if you commit a crime ignorantly, oh, I didn't know that killing someone was bad, or I didn't know that this was going to be bad, or my intention was never to hurt someone, there's still going to be a reaction towards that. And so learning how to be disciplined is the next big, most important thing about Mars. Because this pastime is teaching us, the story of Mars is teaching us that energy without discipline becomes destruction. So this is when that shadow side of destruction, violence comes in, because it is energy, potency, not being disciplined. And so it turns into aggression, it turns into violence, it turns into abuse, it turns into exploitation. So this is important. Discipline is what creates the energy to be channeled in the right way. So discipline is super, super important. The power must be guided by Dharma as well. That this power, this energy of Mars, of our force, of our power, has to be guided by truth, by wisdom. If it's guided in the wrong intentions, it could cause more destruction than anything else. This is when we have that whole thing of the hero and the villain. The hero is living for Dharma, is living for the truth, while the villain has had a perverted version of the truth and distorted version of the Dharma, and therefore it becomes a villain. It becomes evil. Also, it teaches us that anger must be transformed into protection. This is the right way of using anger to protect truth, to protect the weak, to protect the women, to protect the children. This protection, then this anger becomes actually purified, and it becomes something that is actually good for us. And then last but not least, true strength is controlled, not reactive. So that's another thing about Mars. Mars, because it is highest version is when it's in disciplined energy. That's why it becomes exalted in the sign of Capricorn, the most disciplined of them all. It becomes strength that is controlled and not reactive. This is martial arts, the philosophy behind all martial arts, learning to control our chi, our force, our movements, our bodies, our anger. And this is when it becomes powerful instead of just being reactive. This is why reactivity actually usually always leads us into more suffering. So, the role of Mars in Vedic astrology is very important. It represents the action that we take, it represents the drive, what drives us in life, what action we want to take, what we're not lazy to do, what we're not lazy about doing. It gives us courage and ambition. It has this very powerful energy, and it also is the anger and aggression within us. But channeled in the correct way can really be something that helps us grow. It is also our sexual energy. It requires that that virility to create that spark of sexuality. It also has the energy of competition, of discipline and protection. This is one of the reasons why Mars is known to be the one that represents masculine, divine masculinity in the world, because Mars is the one that is upholding these truths. Also, when we have a strong Mars, it gives us confidence, leadership, initiative, and it gives us that fearlessness to go forward with life. Now, when we have a weak, afflicted Mars, either it's retrograde or it's aspected the wrong way or it's in an enemy sign, then we can start we have to work a lot in anger issues, impulsiveness, conflict in relationships, lack of direction in our lives, and of course, frustration or suppressed energy. So, of course, we're going to talk about each individual house, and I'll be giving you guys some remedies to understand how we can heal Mars here. So, some of the remedies, of course, the main one that I will say is definitely wear red on Tuesdays, like I'm doing right now. Wearing red on Tuesdays is very, very good for the Mars energy. And also, of course, working with the power of mantra. So one of the mantras that you can do for Mars is Om Angarakayai Namaha. Om Angarakayai Namaha. Or you can do Om Mangalayai Namaha. Om Mangalayai Namaha. This is a very powerful way of aligning ourselves and our minds with the energies of Mars in the correct ways. Please chant this on Tuesdays. It will be the most powerful. On the Mars Hora will be the most powerful. 11 times minimum or 108 times. This is how we can really work on this Mars and strengthening it, especially doing it while we have a transit of Mars retrograde is really powerful and protective. Now, another way to bring remedies to your Mars energy is to worship Hanuman. Hanuman is also a form of Shiva, and it is the one that helps Lord Ram during his pastimes. And so Hanuman is deeply connected to Mars energy and is the perfect expression of discipline and strength. So here we can practice chanting Hanuman Chalisa. Definitely you can find Hanuman Chalisa all over YouTube, all over the internet. Sing it, especially if you sing the words, is going to be very powerful for you. Offering prayers to Hanuman on Tuesday, but of course we have to understand that Hanuman is the servant of the Lord Ram. So even just worshiping Ram, worshiping Krishna naturally also helps with Hanuman itself. And as for control over anger and strength in action. So it is important sometimes when we feel weak. It's not good to be praying for protection every single day, but there is those times where we may really feel like we need strength and we need protection, and this is a good thing to pray for these things. Now, it is also important to have physical discipline. This is a way to also strengthen the Mars. The Mars rules that musculatory system within ourselves, and so exercise is a fantastic way to bring balance into your Mars energy. It requires discipline. You see, the other day I was talking to my husband about Ozempic and how it's actually taking away all sorts of desires, not just taking away the weight in people. And it's because we just want the easy way out. We want the easy thing. I can just take this pill, sit all day on my butt, and I'm still losing weight. And there's going to be a repercussion to that. There's going to be a side effect to that. It's not just going to be like that. Why? Because the real laws of this universe and nature is that we have to work to get the results that we want. And physical discipline is exactly here with Mars. Exercise will teach us not just the discipline of mind, but it is going to strengthen our bodies and it's going to strengthen our minds at the same time. It also, martial arts is a fantastic way to strengthen the Mars energy. Yoga with strength focus, especially, is really, really nice for Mars. And also, structured physical routines are very, very good for Mars as well. So, channel this fire energy, channel the Mars energy into some physical activity. If we don't do this, then usually we become really irritable, really reactive, really violent, really responsive. So it is important to channel this energy in some productive things. Also, controlling our anger through awareness. So anger comes from lust. When we're lusting over something, oh, I want this, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, and we don't get it, we become angry. And anger leads to bewilderment. Bewilderment is when we lose all intelligence and cognitive reasoning. That's why people do stupid things when they're angry, and then later they regret it, and then later they're like, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to me. It's because of this energy. So it is so important to control that anger. And of course, we can control the anger by also controlling our lust, because then we learn to detach and we're not so attached to the results of something that we want immediately. So awareness through pause before reacting. This is called responding instead of reacting. Also, breathe deeply when triggered. Even if you're fuming inside. And reflect before speaking, so that we don't regret what we say later on. Also, charities that we can do for Mars: donate on Tuesdays red lentils or red cloth or tools to support workers, to support building a temple, or to support fixing things. This is also very Mars, and it will balance out any karmic aggression for Mars. Also, eat mindfully. Okay, it is also a discipline. We can also discipline ourselves through our eating. If we're just eating like without thinking, and we're barely chewing, and we're just like rah, 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 and like, you know, this is the reason why sometimes gaining weight is just an aftermath of lack of discipline, you know, and it's nobody's fault. Like we were raised sometimes in these ways. And if we don't get that discipline from young, then it's going to be way harder to do it. Not impossible, but it could be a little bit harder to do it later on. So here it's about like, you know, how, if I can control my mouth with the tongue, is actually one of the most difficult things to control, not just for speaking and reacting, but also for like putting things in your mouth. So it is important to have some discipline with food. And this is why fasting is so good. It's not just good for your body, but it's also good for a discipline of the mind. So exercise, you know, make sure that you're eating mindfully. Make sure that you're not just eating and watching TV or watching something while you're eating. Be mindful of what you're eating. Be mindful of how much you're chewing, of what you're tasting. Take your time. Take at least 10 minutes to eat a meal. There's no rush in eating something. And especially if you do it in a mindful way, like, okay, you offer your food, then you sit down, that you honor the food. You're honoring your food. Having this mentality of honoring what you're taking in is so much better. Like, instead of, you know, if we're eating in the car and we're just not even paying attention to what we're doing or putting in our mouths, like this could affect Mars energy. So be careful with that. Lack of mindfulness while eating. Excess spice. If there's too much spicy food, like spicy food is great. It's all like, I have this issue. Like, I love spicy food so much that it became addictive. And right now I'm like weaning myself out of spice. So it's to bring back balance into your life, into yourself. So excess spice could be difficult. Also, alcohol and overeating. It will affect your Mars energy. Also, serve and protect. You know, this helps to serve, to have this attitude of being serviceable, to want to help others physically, to want to help others emotionally, to want to help others overall, to stand up for someone, to finish what you started, to do it at your best of your capabilities. You know, like, don't be sloppy with the things that you know you have to do. Do it with a lot of discipline and grace, and it doesn't have to go into perfectionism, but just do your best. And also use the strength for good. Now, All of this is just leading us so that we're able to really harness and polish that warrior within. And regardless if we're man and woman, there is that warrior within, that divine masculine within all of us that we need to really access and polish. Also, the ability to act on truth, very important. And the fire of transformation within ourselves. This is another reason why Mars also rules the sign of Scorpio. It rules Aries, and also rules Scorpio, the transformative sign. So when healed, Mars becomes courage without aggression, it becomes strength with compassion, and it becomes action aligned with purpose. So very powerful energies here for Mars, and absolutely it is something that we have to take care in our lives, and it's definitely going to give us some really good results, especially if you're in Aries and Scorpio, or in Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha. You want to strengthen your Mars during these times. Overall, we all have to strengthen them because we all have Mars in our charts. Now, let us look into each individual house, what the Mars in each placement means. Welcome. If you have your Mars in the first house, then this is for you. Now, Mars in the first house is very powerful placement. This is definitely something where people can perceive that you are a very courageous person, go-getter. You do not like to sit around and talk about it. You are a doer. You are, let's go and do it. Oh, we want to sit around and talk about how we're going to do this and do that. How about we just do it? How about we just make it happen? So Mars in the first house gives us a lot of power, gives us a lot of drive, a lot of energy. If you have Mars in the first house, it is extremely important that you exercise. Exercise, especially on a daily basis. You need to be burning calories, burning energy all the time, because that is how you can channel this energy in the correct ways. This is when a person has a natural warrior disposition. People just perceive you to just have this natural warrior disposition. And if you're a male, then you're like extra masculine, extra, you just have this masculine energy about you. Of course, it depends on the sign and the aspects that it has, but naturally people will perceive you to be somebody very go-getter driven and masculine naturally. If you're a woman, then you are somebody who's very self-assertive, kind of like a Xena, very warrior in your natural nature, like an Amazonian. So embrace it. So as I mentioned, it is very important to move your body. It is very important to work out. It is very important to lift weights and to feel how your machine of a body is like, strong and powerful. This is going to be something really, really good for anybody who has a Mars in the first house. And because of this, you are naturally courageous. You're naturally self-motivated. You are naturally ambitious. You have this energy to go and get the things. You're unafraid. You are quite fearless in your approach to life. You're the type of person that's like, you know what? I just throw myself in the water and I'll learn to swim while I'm in it. You don't overcalculate like, okay, should I not? Is this a good idea? Is this not? Like, no. And it's not that you're a brute or that you don't, think before you do. You just have so much confidence in yourself that you're like, you know what? Like, if I'm in survival mode, I will find a way to survive. Like if I'm in the water and never know how to swim, I will find a way to swim because I'm not just gonna give up. And so this is that thing that really drives you to a whole new level. And what makes you so powerful, naturally a person of great, great power, high stamina and high bravery. You just have that energy about you. It is, you usually do very well in short-term breaks, tasks. So, your stamina might not go for very long, but if you organize yourself in ways where it's like, I get this accomplished, I get this accomplished, I get this accomplished, I get this accomplished, you're going to do very well like this. Okay. Now it depends. If it's in an earth sign, then you could have a little bit of a longer stamina here naturally. Also, there is a lot of independence. You go at the beat of your own drum. You are not like asking for permission. Actually, something that I've learned about people who have Mars in the first house is that you guys walk so freaking fast. Like and you're not trying to walk fast, but you start walking with them and then they're like, la, 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 la. And they don't like to wait around. They don't like to wait around for other people's slowness. They don't like to like, oh, okay, now I have to slow down for you. Like, they're not the type of people. So sometimes people may not understand them. People may be like, oh my gosh, you're just impulsive or too fast or, you know, like hasty, but it's just your nature. You're a go-getter. And especially if you're young, you just have this. But I have seen it that even in older age, if it's not that your body's starting to tell you that you can't move that fast, you will still move very fast. So very, very interesting about that. And because of that, you are very successful and you are quite resistant to aging because your body, especially from a young age, you have this energy to be strong and to strengthen your body. You naturally become a longevity person. You naturally have a lot of energy in your body and you will maintain it where you're able to fight against diseases, fight against problems, and you're just a fighter. You know, you're not just gonna give up. And like your body is like that as well. Your body is like, I got this. I've have clients that have told me like, oh yeah, I told older clients that tell me like, oh yeah, I thought I was gonna be done by 60, and they have Mars in the first, and it's like, no, I think you're going for the long run here. You know, it's not gonna be that easy. You still are like ready to go. So these people have a lot of stamina. Another thing that I've noticed about the people with Mars in the first house is a lot of consumption of meat. So try to balance this out a little bit because it could end up affecting your body. You know, too much carcinogen meat will eventually start affecting your body. So be careful with this. Now, if your Mars is badly aspected, or if it's in a difficult position, or if it's in an enemy sign, or it might be even Mars retrograding, then you may have some different results here. And the results can be, you know, combative and reactive, a little bit aggressive, a little bit reactive, where you can sometimes control your anger. You may be a little bit offensive and aggressive, not understanding that, you know, your actions may affect people around you. And so sometimes people may perceive you to be a little bit self-centered and selfish. Also, there's this arrogant sort of energy that you have to be cautious with, that it doesn't rub people the wrong way. If it's badly aspected, it can also not allow you to finish what you started. And, you know, you leave things incomplete. You may also have a really hard time controlling your impulses, especially your lust, where just like you have like no maybe self-control with yourself. So this is something that needs to be practiced when you have so much power here, because you can get easily tempted very easily by anything and anyone. There is a sort of impulsive nature that you have to be cautious with, that it doesn't get you into trouble later on. It could also give you head injuries here, so be careful with that. Always wear a helmet. Always wear a helmet. You can have little head injuries, headaches, things with your head, okay, problems with the teeth and the gums as well, because this is the head space. The first house is the face. So take care of your teeth, take care of your gums, take care of your head, that it doesn't get hit. It can also give you headaches, fevers, cuts, especially cuts in the head of some sort, and also bumps or infections or inflammatory issues. So be cautious with those things as well. And, you know, high pitta contribute, like you may have too much pitta in you, which is like too much heat in your body. So that's why I suggest, you know, lowering down on spices, lowering down on spicy, lowering down on meat, and to also eat more cooling foods like fruits. Like these people do amazing in a raw diet, actually. They get like their best bodies in a raw diet. So eating more natural fruits, more cool foods, more juices, more raw diets, more salads, like the fresh things, cool things, cooling things are really, really good for you as well to balance them out. Now, if you do have any of these that you may feel like it's kind of bringing problems to you with your Mars, and you feel like you can strengthen it a little bit more, then I highly suggest that you go check out at the beginning of the video. I left some remedies there for you where you can understand more how to bring remedies and how to strengthen your Mars in a natural and easy way. Also, these are general messages. If you would like to go deeper into your natal chart and understand it a lot more, then I highly suggest that you get a private consultation with me. In the description here below, you will book a one-on-one consultation with me where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you would like. Alrighty, so that was for Mars in the first. Now, if you have Mars in the second house, welcome. This is for you. Mars in the second house is very powerful at activating and taking action in acquisition of assets. So when you have Mars here in the second house, you are definitely a go-getter for money. You are not waiting around to see, like if there's an opportunity for money, you go, you do it, you hustle, you work, you make it happen. You are that person that is never lazy about making a quick buck at all. And also, it's very powerful in helping you to accumulate a lot of assets, into creating a lot of abundance in your life. People who have Mars in the second house can definitely create massive abundance and prosperity in their life. Now, the only thing here that can sabotage that is that you're also quite impulsive with shopping. So budget yourself. This is the key. Discipline yourself with your financial impulses when it comes to the second house. It's so important that you discipline yourself so that you don't end up, making a lot of money, but then you spend it all. And then you make again, and then you spend it all. Like, we don't want to be in the zigzag. So make sure that you're budgeting yourself. This doesn't mean that you can buy nice things for yourself. Yes, you can, but just be very conscious of what you buy, and that is not just coming from some impulse buy that you just have to get. Because then later on you may be like, oh my God, what did I even buy that or spend all that money on that? Now, the good thing is that you work hard for accumulation of wealth, which this could be an amazing placement if you are really wanting to become rich, if you're really wanting to, be wealthy, be affluent. This is really good. It is also, it gets money in bursts at the same time. So be patient with your Mars here. If you're trying to get super consistent money, like you can, but you may have like these bursts of money where you make more money in some days and some not. So anything that is with I wouldn't say sales, but like I forgot the word, when you're working and commission. Okay, there it is. Commission. You could do very good with commission jobs because it is all about your drive and your own energy to make more money and to make that happen. So those things can work really well for you. It also gives you a very strong energy for for cheering other people on. You're a big family person. You like to protect your family. You like to protect your values. When you live by your values, especially the values that your family has taught you, you do amazing. You do super good. You really thrive. So it is so important that you're very disciplined with the values that your family and your loved ones have given you in your life. It also gives you a lot of laughter. Your voice, your speech, your voice is very powerful naturally. And so your laughter can be very boisterous or very contagious. People just love to hear you laugh. You just have this laughter that is like, wow. And it also gives you a lot of energy for speech. So your speech, you are assertive. That is your best way to manage your speech. You're an assertive person that goes to the point of things. But the thing here is you have to be cautious that you don't go into aggressive speech. Okay? This is when you lose the battle. So learning how to talk, learning how to be assertive in your communication could really make your Mars here amazing, especially if you're very disciplined with your mouth and your tongue. This, I would say, is one of the biggest things for you, is that you really have to become super disciplined about what you eat, how you eat, how much you eat, and what you say, and how you say it, and the tone of your voice. Like, if you become a master at these things, this is naturally going to accumulate even more money for you. It is also a very active speaker. You always have something to say. You always want to say something. And so that's why I mentioned, like, mastering your speech is going to be something very powerful. Very energetic family life. and it's good that maybe your family is the thing that motivates you to do better, to work harder, to go and get that money in your life, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And also benefits with manufacturing. You get a lot of benefits with manufacturing. Industrial or military activities are also here. Even some people can make money out of these things, industrial things and military, and in manufacturing, homes, real estate. All these things are ruled by Mars. Sometimes even restaurants can also bring you abundance and prosperity. You also are naturally a giver to money to the needy, which is a wonderful quality. You give to others, you give to those that are in need. You're good with charity, and that always gives you a lot of more abundance in your life. You earn in your own way. This is important too. That's why I say like commission based or independent, or something where you are your own leader, you're running the show, you're calling the shots. That is going to be a fantastic thing for you naturally. You're very charming, captivating, and you have a very powerful speech. Mastering your speech is going to be a very powerful tool for you to create more abundance in your life. Now, if you do have a weak Mars that is badly aspected, or that is in an enemy sign, or that it could also be retrograde, then you may have some different results and you may need some remedies. The remedies, I put them at the beginning of the video. So those, if you have a weak Mars here, then you could be experiencing overly generous. You're giving away too much. You're overly impulsively shopping as well. Like, you're burning a hole in your pocket. You're making as much money as you're giving away. So this could also be giving a disbalance here. You talk too fast or too much. So not being able to control the tongue, not being able to control that mouth can also be something of a disbalance in a weak Mars here. It is, you may sometimes even use harsh speech, violent speech, aggressive, cursing, insulting. So be very cautious with this, because this will also weaken your Mars even more. Financial problems, like I mentioned, you could be going up and down with your finances, making a lot and spending a lot. So disciplined your finances, very, very important. Also misuse of your sexual energy, misuse of how much you eat. You could also be not controlling your eating habits, overly eating, over consuming, overly drinking alcohol, eating too much meat. Things like this can also bring this balance to your Mars. Sometimes you may be too blunt and you may lack some empathy in your speech. So practice speaking with empathy to be heard more. You can also get some eye ailments. Okay, this is actually, these two are the eyes in the chart. So you can have some eye issues, eye problems. This is showing that your Mars is maybe burning this house, or it's not very, very strong. So we want to take care of our eyes a lot. There could also be problems with the mouth and the teeth, with the throat, the thyroid, and your speech. Your digestion may be off, again, because you may be eating too much, excessively. And also there might be some general family conflicts that happen because of your speech, can also happen here naturally. And also takes money without paying it back. Very, very bad to do that, and it will definitely weaken your Mars a lot. So if you're experiencing any of these things, then I highly suggest that you go check out at the beginning of the video. There is some remedies where you can use these remedies to strengthen your Mars, and that way it will bring it back into balance. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo. Use the promo code in the description here below to book a one-on-one session with me, where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, my beautiful Mars in the second. Alrighty, Mars in the second, those were your messages. Now we're doing Mars in the third. Welcome, Mars in the third, people. If this is your placement, then these are the different things that could be showing up in your horoscope naturally. So when we have Mars in the third, this is actually a super courageous and brave and fearless position. You are fearless, okay? The courage and the bravery that is within you is endless. And this is what makes you successful. This is what makes you learn those skills, go for the goal, start an entrepreneurship. Like, you you have the capacity to become a self-made person when you have this Mars in the third. And it gives you the ability to be very, very powerful, to be very strong, to be very, very, very powerful in your own way here. And it gives you the power of speech, the action of communication, the action of feeling adventurous. So very powerful energies. So this active determination is where you find the strongest power of Mars in the third house. It gives you the ability to be extremely clever. You have the gift of gab. You have the ability to convince anybody of anything. You have power of selling anything, anyone. You have the possibility to influence with your speech and your communication to anyone and anything. So it's a very powerful placement. You have a very active mind. You definitely need to be studying constantly studying, constantly reading, constantly polishing your skills. I would even say just even having a notebook to write things down. This is going to help you channel your Mars in the third house energy, because you just have such an active mind that wants to take action, that wants to do. So this is not something that you can just reminisce and talk and like just be in your head about. Like, it's something that needs to be channeled, that needs to be given into the world. And so that is that determination, that energy of intellect. You want to learn. You have the capacity here of becoming a great scholar if you become disciplined at learning. If you become disciplined at reading the books, studying the books, you can even become a master of languages here with your discipline of studies. So very powerful energy. You're also very adventurous and courageous, very brave naturally. You're that type of person that just goes and talks to anybody or anything. You like to interact with your immediate environment. You say hello to the milkman, say hello to the butcher, say hello to the storekeeper, say hello to anything and anybody, which makes you be very active in your neighborhood, but it also makes you be very good with your community. So you do a lot better if you're not shy, if you're not inhibited. You do a lot better if you just interact with your immediate environment, make friends, introduce yourself, speak to them. This is a very good energy for this Mars in the third house naturally. It also makes you somebody who advocates, or it's an activism. You see, you advocate for something and people listen to you. People want to hear your perspective. And with your perspective and how you express it, you can definitely transform people's perceptions and life. So your whole thing is about, wiring your mind for success, wiring your mind to never give up, to believe that you can do it, to believe that you're capable. And it's kind of naturally already wired like this, but working on it will make you even more mentally strong. You definitely are like a mind over matter type of energy here. You have amazing persuasive skills. You're really good at sales, really good at not convincing, but like selling and getting people to buy what it is that you're offering. You can sell something that maybe nobody even cares about, and you will find some sort of necessity for them to actually buy it. And you're very good at marketing because of this, and advertisement naturally. There could be a knack for advertisement and marketing, which can also lead you to be really good at social media, really good at, anything that has to do with media, and you're naturally gifted at these things. Also, it has the energies of you expend a lot of high energy in short periods, okay? So it's good for you to take breaks. If you, for example, are studying and you're studying a lot, take breaks in between. Take breaks every half an hour, and this is going to help you refresh your brain, and then you go back. You work a lot more efficiently when you have these little breaks in between your bursts of action when it comes to studying or utilizing your mental capacity and your mental energy. You accomplish things very quickly because you learn fast. Okay, you are a fast learner. And this is why you can be so skilled. You could just be a person that is full of skills. You know how to play an instrument. You know how to, cook. You know how to paint. You know how to write. You know how to, fix things. You might be even an electrician, or a handyman, and it just like you just know how to do this, like it makes sense to you. Oh, this, and boom, you got it. So it doesn't take you long to learn things, and especially if you have a teacher, you learn even quicker than ever before. So very athletic. Naturally, you like to engage your body, like the dexterity of your body. So dancing can be amazing for you. Moving your body, martial arts, anything that helps you to really, like, I would even say like the parkour people could be very good here. Calisthenics, very good for you guys. You just naturally are very strong with your body. I would even say gymnasts. You guys are just very naturally engaging your dexterity of your body in many different ways. And this could be used for athleticism, but it could also be used for musicianship or anything. But there's a massive, powerful connection between your brain and your brain capacity and your skills of your hands and your body. It's highly connected, which is so nice. And it also has naturally independent, and you are a very strong warrior. Okay, you just have this warrior energy about you. So those are all the amazing things if we have a very strong Mars here in the third house. Now, if your Mars is weak in this house because of placement, because of sign, or because of aspects, or because it's retrograde, then you may be getting some different results here, and you do have to put some remedies. I have some remedies at the beginning of the video that can really help you with that to strengthen your Mars. Check them out. So if you may be having some energies of like you have a short fuse, which means that you get mad easily and you get in fights easily. People sometimes may feel like you're just angry, like you're talking and you're just angry, and you might be like, I'm not angry, I'm just passionate about this thing. And people are like, whoa, okay, but don't kill me. So you do very well as a speaker to many people, like if you have to motivate, like that's why activism could be so good for you, because you can motivate and talk to many people at once, because one person alone may just feel so much intensity from you in your communication that they might feel like, are you like gonna hurt me or something? So try to control that part as well. Also, you will question everything. You will question everything to get what you want. So you could become a little bit of a mental manipulator here, where you kind of twist people's heads sideways so that you can get what it is that you want. So also be careful in using this for your own means. There could also be conflicts with siblings and neighbors, or the community, the people around you. So again, get into that charismatic energy, not into the aggressive, don't be the grumpy person of the neighborhood that everybody's scared of. Be careful with that. Also, you might be a little bit reckless because you're just too brave, too courageous, and now you're like, okay, now it's like getting into reckless territory, and that could end up hurting your hands. Okay, you may end up getting some injuries in your hands, and we don't want that, not the hands. Also conflict, we might have some burned out. You may burn yourself out if you're studying too much, if you're utilizing your mind too much, if you're doing too much on social media. There's another thing. If you're like one overstimulation of the mind, you have to have discipline with these things, because if it's too much, then you burn yourself out. Again, it's in short terms, half an hour to an hour, then step out, go to nature, walk in nature, get some sunlight, and then come back to work, so that we don't end up in this mental burnout naturally. There could be education problems in early years for some of you who may have a weak Mars here, education issues and concentrating and focusing and getting things done, and disciplining yourself, disciplining your knowledge, disciplining your learning could also be bringing issues. And you may, again, wounds or breaks bones in arms or the upper body or the hands. Be careful with this. Okay, we don't want to end up breaking something that we can later not move our hands how we normally do. Like, you have so much dexterity in your body that we want to have these strong hands naturally. And also there could be some travel accidents here, so take care of yourselves. And if you have experienced any of these things with your Mars here, we need to strengthen this Mars. Go check out the remedies at the beginning of the video. That could really help. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to understand your chart deeply and see how your Mars really is reacting in your own individual chart, because these are just general messages, then definitely book a consultation with me in the description here below. You will be able to book one today. Alrighty, those are your messages. Mars in the third. Thank you so much. And now we're going to do Mars in the fourth. Welcome, my people who have Mars in the fourth house. This is what the results of a Mars in the fourth house are all about. Now, Mars in the fourth house is a little bit of an interesting placement here, because it gives you energetic emotions. Now, Mars naturally doesn't like this house too much, because Mars doesn't get along with the energies of Cancer. And Cancer is a natural ruler of this fourth house. So what could happen here if we are not disciplined and careful with our emotions is that we end up fighting with our mother. We end up fighting at the home too much. We end up constantly fighting with our loved ones and our family members, especially our mother. And it can get to the point of insulting your mother, insulting your loved ones, insulting your family. And this could really hurt your life, okay? We have to be disciplined. We have to be disciplined. And maybe your mother is a very disciplined person. It's a person that was giving you a lot of discipline. But you have to understand that it is not because she hates you or because she doesn't like you. It's because she really loves you and she wants the best for you. Having this discipline to not, to being dharmic in the duty of respecting our elders, especially our mother, is something that could be very beneficial for you. At the same time, Mars here, because it is so actively wanting to be in the comfort of the home, okay? Mars becomes weak. This is why it becomes debilitated in the sign of Cancer or the fourth house, because it's stepping too much into the comfort. It's like putting a soldier inside a house where it's going to be pampered and loved, and mom's going to do your laundry and they're going to do your food, and all you have to do is sit around and play video games all day. Like, this soldier is going to become fat and weak eventually. So Mars here, again, it is about being disciplined even if you're inside the house. So chores, fixing things, even people who build homes, you guys can end up building houses, building homes, becoming handyman, knowing how to fix things around the house, organizing the house, fixing the house, remodeling the house. Even some of you guys may get so passionate about homes that you guys can become amazing at flipping homes, amazing at real estate, amazing at land, amazing agricultures, farmers, people who work the land. So the idea here is that if you don't want to fall for the weakness of the Mars in the fourth house, we have to utilize this energy to protect the family, to protect the mother instead of fighting with her, and to use the energy to work in the house. Like, you guys would do great if you have a farm and you have to go take care of the animals. You have to go attend to the garden. You have to go attend to the crops, or you have to fix things in the house. This is the most positive way of managing the energy of this Mars in the fourth house for sure. It also gives us a lot of emotionally energetic. So you could be a little bit, your emotions really fill you. So using your emotions in the correct way, using your emotions for the love that you have for your family, the love that you have for your home, using your emotions for protecting your loved ones, then this energy is being utilized in the correct ways. Also, but be careful becoming too moody, obviously. We also have, you may become you may become so strong with your own emotions that you're able to hold other people's emotions as well, where you're able to, not be carried away by their own emotions and being able to navigate them and help them to come back into feeling grounded themselves. So it's almost like if you really utilize this energy correctly, you become a master of controlling your emotions, of being disciplined with your emotions. Recently, I heard that stoic. Like, stoic doesn't mean that you don't feel. Stoic means that you feel everything, but you are so in control that you are able to actually choose to respond instead of just reacting to what the feelings and the emotions are all about. You are an active home builder. So as I mentioned, building homes. Naturally for you, for sure. You benefit from vehicles. That's another thing. Any convenience, vehicles, boats, homes, any comforts like this. Even restaurants. Some of you guys would do really good with restaurants. Some of you guys are really good at cooking. I would even say master knives. Like you know how to use that knife really, really, really well. Naturally with a Mars in the fourth house for sure. And also there is like, if you run your home a little bit like military style, this will be kind of good for you. And I don't mean like mean to your children and but just like militant, like things are in order, things are in their place, everybody's following the orders, everybody's following like what they're supposed to be doing, the chores that need to be done, and everybody respects each other. Like this will actually flow really well in your home life naturally. And you teach others quickly. You're able to teach others, especially like as a motherly figure. You're like that disciplined mother that really helps a child grow emotionally. So that's also something fantastic. As I mentioned, if we have a weak Mars, a retrograde Mars, or a bad aspected Mars, or in a bad sign, check out the remedies at the beginning of the video. I would even say just in general, it's good for you guys to do some extra remedies because your Mars is in the fourth, and to strengthen this Mars to get some of the good qualities that Mars has in the fourth. Because if not, then it can give you different results. Like, you can get into car accidents, you can have car thefts, you can have home thefts, which God forbid that doesn't happen, but it would strengthen your Mars to do that. You may not be taking care of your home enough, fixing the things enough. Like if you are letting your home get worn out and you're not giving the maintenance that it needs, that is definitely going to weaken your Mars in the fourth house a lot. So if there's a problem in the house, fix it immediately. Don't wait around. Don't like, oh, maybe another day. No, like fix it instantaneously. Fix it as soon as possible. Take action towards these things to strengthen your Mars for sure. There's also, breaks in education, unsettled emotions. You may feel too many emotions at the same time. You may feel too emotional naturally with things, and so that could really affect you naturally. We may also have a broken home or early separation of the mother. That's from the Mars being weak. But again, even if these things have happened, it's about forgiveness, and it's about creating your own home in the right way. This can also give you some deception in emotions. It could also give you breaks in romances, in short-term romances, because it's all about the heart matters. It's all about the empathy. It's all about how you can create family and how to master your emotions and how to create that nurturing for yourself and others. This is the biggest lessons of Mars in the fourth house. Now, it could give you some breast issues and chest inflammations and surgeries in the breast or in the chest. So again, maintain a strong body. Do the remedies that I gave you at the beginning of the video. That's going to help you. Again, the mother may suffer here. Your mother may suffer here because of your own astrological chart. So that's the reason why you should be very kind to her, very patient with her, and very understanding and empathetic with her. She's the one that's going to teach you about these emotions and how to handle them. Getting mad at her is just going to make things worse really for your chart. Also can give you, you may suffer from a little bit of acidity, like heartburn. That could happen with the stomach, and any cuts, falls, and other inflammatory conditions. So be very cautious with your health. Please maintain it very well. And there might be a little bit of a strong roughness from the father, for the father. So yes, with the family and with the mother and with the father, there's a lot here because it is 8th from the 9th house. So it could be giving you a lot of these problems with family overall. So just remember, we can strengthen the Mars here, and just know that this is just the karmas that need to be paid off. Don't take it personally. God has nothing against you. It just is the karmas that need to get paid. Maybe one day you will understand that in a past life something happened, then now you have to go through this karma. But strengthening your Mars would definitely help you to overcome any limitations. Now, if you would like to understand your Mars placement and your whole chart a lot better, then I highly suggest that you get a consultation with me. Book one in the description here below. You will find a link to book one today. Alrighty, those are for the people with Mars in the 4th house. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. And now we're doing Mars in the 5th house. If you have Mars in the 5th house, welcome. This is your representation of what Mars in the fifth house represents. And when we have Mars in the fifth house, this gives you a stimulated intellect. Okay, this is the house of mantra, this is the house of children, this is the house of creativity, and it is also the house of good karmas from your past life. So there's definitely some good karmas in your past life that you have done, and now you have this Mars in the fifth house naturally. This is the house of the sun, so the sun and Mars do very well here, and Mars can become very creative, very childlike, has a childlike nature naturally, and children are naturally gravitated to you as well. You have a strong survival instincts here. You definitely know how to push forward in life and not give up. You know how to channel that passion in the right things when it is strongly aspected. Also, with Mars here in the fifth house, we get quick reflexes both physically and mentally. You're sharp, you're intelligent. And even if you do some practice that helps you to keep your reflexes fast, this is going to be a great practice for you for sure. Act spontaneously, you are definite, you are determined, you are entertaining. Okay, this is also the house of expression. So this is the house of self-expression. You are somebody who's very entertaining. I would even say a little bit animated, like me. Yes, I have Mars in the fifth. So with Mars in the fifth here, it gives you that the decisiveness, that determination. It is good for you to have hobbies. It is good for you to have passions. Obviously, learning how to balance them with some detachment is good for you, but you cannot live a passionless life. Okay, this is the will. You have very strong willed energy that pushes you forward towards your dreams and your aspirations, especially if they're about athleticism, self-expression, children, expressing your own light, expressing your sun within you. The Mars here really enhances that energy, and it gives you lots of that power. It also gives you a lot of, you act spontaneously. You are very spontaneous, even maybe, like I mentioned, entertaining to the point that you're a little bit funny. You're not afraid to get into the front of the class or get in front of, the limelight. You're like, okay, here, this is what I'm doing. This is how you do it. Mars naturally gives you that bravery. And even if you feel nervous, you use that nervousness to just like, bah, and do it. So it works in your favor very, very, very well. You love to play. You love to compete. You need playfulness in your life. Doing, even if it's just like having board games or going bowling, or like sometimes, it's not just about the competition so much, but it's just a matter of the playfulness. You are somebody who just loves to be in this playful energy. And you want to play in life. You don't want things to get so stagnant without fun. You're somebody who likes fun. Now, of course, it needs to be a balanced fun that it doesn't end up, making you into drugs and stuff like this, but like a fun that is innocent, a fun that is like the fun of dancing, the fun of playing, the fun of competing, the fun of athleticism and sports. Like these fun things and fun activities are really, really good for you. You're very affectionate and super romantic. Oh my gosh, like you are that person that's like ready for the romance. Like you bask in it. You're like, some people get too shy, but you're just like, I like that person. I'm going to go talk to them and I'm going to flirt with them and do the little eyes and the smile. And like, you just naturally know how to bring that romantic energy into your life. And you need this as well. So Mars here really loves to pursue their romantic partners. Mars naturally gives you that pursuing energy and flirting energy towards others and towards who you like. You have a sexual vitality naturally, and you're very active with children. You are that person that literally plays with the children. Like some people are like, yeah, okay, and they like pretend that they're playing with the child, but you actually play with the child. Like you actually engage deeply with children, and children love you for this. Now, if your Mars is badly aspected in an enemy sign or retrograde, or it's just not strong enough and it's in a weak energy, then you can also be experiencing the opposite of these things, which is more like being inflexible, being impatient. getting so attached to an outcome, or attached to a passion, or attached to a lover, or attached to winning, that you end up, sabotaging yourself or hurting others. Okay, you may have a little bit of trouble with speculation, because this is the house of speculative business. So you might bet on things and then they don't turn out right. Like if you have a strong Mars here, it could make you really good with the stock market and speculative business, but a weak Mars may give you the opposite here. Also, restless in meditation. This is also the house of mantra. So discipline on mantra could be fantastic way of strengthening this Mars. Discipline on mantra, like actually sitting down and listening to the mantra that you are saying over and over and over again, without distractions, without sounds in the background, without music, without anything like this. Just like you and the mantra. And at least if you do this for like a half an hour of just full focus, this is going to strengthen your Mars, and is going to strengthen your ability to meditate and to be more disciplined in your meditation. Sometimes this Mars in the 5th house can show up abortions or miscarriages when it's weak. So again, we want to strengthen it. We want to make it powerful, so that it doesn't turn out like this. I've heard of a lot of astrologers say that it could also bring C-sections for some people when it has this energy. It has also broken romances. Mars may get too aggressive in relationships, get too aggressive, too dramatic. Now we're getting too much drama, too much fights. So again, we want to strengthen this Mars energy so that it doesn't go into this drama life and drama world, in the romantic situations. Also, sexual overstimulated, sexually, like being too overly stimulated in sexuality. Being, wanting to have too many partners, too many people, too many different, sexual partners. This can also weaken your Mars naturally here. Also, being tempted to lie, being tempted to sexual activities that you're not supposed to. Just temptation overall over passions and desires. So again, controlling passions, controlling your disciplining them, not controlling them, but disciplining them so that they're channeled in the right way. Also not good for focusing for long periods. It doesn't like to be tested. It doesn't like tests. And also there might be problems with children. If the Mars is weak, it might bring problems with children. Your children may be very aggressive. Your children may be very aggressive towards you, or you are very aggressive towards your children. So again, tempering this energy so that it doesn't become too intense. Now, when it comes to your physicality, if the Mars is weak, it can actually bring blood impurities. It can have heart trouble. And it can also reproductive of venereal diseases or difficulties, and too much heat in the stomach. So again, tone it down with the eating too many spicy foods, too many hot things. Cool off your stomach with some cooling fresh fruit, cold drinks, just like cooling food, like cool like a cucumber water, and tone down the spicy foods. Okay. So those are the messages for the Mars in the 5th. Remember to check out the remedies if you feel like you may have some weaknesses here and you want to strengthen it. It's at the beginning of the video. And also remember that these are general messages. If you would like me to go deep into your chart and really decipher your Mars placement or any other place or your whole chart, then I highly suggest that you book a one-on-one consultation with me. In the description here below, you will be able to book one today. Alrighty, those were your messages for the people in the Mars in the 5th house. And now we're going to be doing our beautiful Mars in the 6th house, people. Welcome. If you have your Mars in the 6th house, then this is for you. And first and foremost, I gotta say, this is a really great placement for Mars. Mars loves to be in the 6th house because the 6th house is the house of the war of life, the difficulties, the obstacles, the enemies, the diseases. And so when you put a warrior planet like this in here, then it becomes really strong. And so usually people, if you have a very strong Mars here that is not negatively aspected or debilitated or in a weak sign, you definitely beat your diseases, your debt, and your enemies. And you are definitely a go-getter. You have the warrior-like activity, okay? I've seen a lot of soldiers a lot of soldiers who have this placement, this Mars in the sixth house, naturally, because they want to serve. You have an energy of, I just want to serve. I want to serve a good cause. I want to serve the truth. I want to serve righteousness. So you have this energy of serving others and serving for a bigger cause. You also take care of your body a lot. You can be very disciplined with your workouts, very disciplined with your body, very disciplined with your nutrition, very disciplined with your lifestyle. You do very well having, your to-do lists and just like checking off the things that need to be checked off. You're not lazy about the things that need to get done throughout the day, okay? If it's washing the dishes, you wash them. If it's cleaning the house and maintaining it clean, you clean it and you maintain it clean. If it's eating good, eating your vitamins, having, like all the to-do list that needs to get done, you do it. And even at work, in the co-working space, you're that person that everybody can count on. You're that person that's like, yep, they're going to get it done. They're going to shine. They're going to make it happen. And they just always are amazing workers. They're reliable. They are there. Like, you have that natural reputation here, to the point that even some coworkers may feel like, man, you're making us look bad. But it doesn't matter, because you beat your enemies nonetheless. So very powerful energy here. You are strongly decisive. You don't wait around and say, I don't know if maybe I want to do it. No, you just do it. You're a strongly decisive person. You're service oriented. You have protective skills, a builder, a dealer in the land. You naturally build. You're an amazing logistical person. Like, any logistics that need to get done, you do it. You're like that great producer who knows how to produce something and get all the little pieces together and make the machine naturally work. In your daily job, you may work with a lot of men. In your daily life, you may deal with a lot of men. In your daily life, you may do something that has to do with land, agriculture, cooking, or mechanic, or any sort of engineer here. That could be your natural daily life, daily job that you do as well. There's a military and executive abilities that are so strong here for you. So like I mentioned, you are that person that people can count on for sure. You are also very decisive. You are a problem solver, natural problem solver. Nothing faces you, no problem. You're just like, oh, like this, this is how we fix it. This is how we get it done. This is how we make it happen. Even if it requires like a lot of tedious work or a lot of like busy work, you don't care. You don't give up. You do it. You do it. It doesn't matter how annoying and boring it is to other people. You finish it. You are definitely very alert, and you take advantage. You take advantage when there's an opening, when there's a solution, when there's something. You don't waste time. You do it. So very powerful Mars here in the sixth house for sure. You have exhaustible energy, mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's why you do have to be busy. You need to be a busy person, busy throughout your day, and you can get it all accomplished, I mean, as long as you also don't overly stimulate your nervous system where you're taking too much caffeine or too many energy drinks, then you'll be good. But you don't even necessarily need any of that, to be honest. Like, you just naturally have a lot of energy, so that when you get home, you're exhausted and you can like definitely just go to sleep naturally and calmly and have like that deep sleep. Those athletes, you could also be an athlete. Your daily job can be athleticism, where they work out so hard in the day that at night when they go to sleep, they like twitch because their muscles are recovering at such a fast rate. Like, these are the things that happen to you, which is a great thing. Also, you are very powerful, like propagator, healer. You're a strong healer too. You could be an amazing doctor, amazing surgeon, amazing healer overall, because you know how to take care and how to have a healthy lifestyle, how to take care of your body and keep it strong, how to maintain a healthy and nutritious diet. And the service that you can pay to others is I give them healing. I teach them about healing. I teach them about healthy lifestyles. So even my personal trainers, doctors, nurses, really good at this. Military people, really good at all of this. Okay? And there's also like, you finish things quick and fast. That's why you're such an amazing worker as well. So when we have a strong Mars here, amazing results. When we have a weak Mars, either because of bad aspects or enemy sign, or it's retrograde, then you may have some different results here. I highly suggest you go check out the remedies at the beginning of the video that can really help you to strengthen the Mars. If you're experiencing anything like being overly active to the point that now you can't sleep at night and it's like very difficult for you to rest. So now we've gone into this balance here. Also drinks or takes drugs to slow down. Exactly. Like I have to drink sleeping pills and things like this. So it's like, it's because your nervous system is too active. So disciplining it to not just do, but also to relax. How to turn on that parasympathetic system. Like it's like there's the non-negotiables of your to-do list, and then there's the non-negotiables of your rest. Very important. Also extravagant, you provoke arguments. You may be if you're a lawyer too, lawyer displacement is really, really good because naturally you are very argumentative. Maybe to you want to be right. You are never backing down from a conflict. You're never backing down from telling them how it is. So if this works for your career, great, like a lawyer. If not, then you have to be very cautious in relationships that it doesn't get too much argumentative. A sexual predator can happen where, there might be a disbalance in your sexuality. Like now we're not having healthy sexuality, pornography, addictions and things like this. Also takes advantage of others. Okay, instead of being there to help, you're taking advantage of others. You may lack long-term vision. If the Mars is not being activated correctly, then you're just kind of wasting your time, not really getting things accomplished, not finishing what you started, not being disciplined enough. Like this Mars really shines in discipline. This is like the ultimate. So if it's not in discipline, it would really give you the opposite effects all the time. It loses through helpers. You may get in more debt. You may get into having a lot of enemies around you if the lack of discipline is here. And it could also give surgical operations. It could give blood impurities. It could give you rashes, fevers, skin ruptures, heart troubles, digestive troubles, problems with your colon, problems with your stomach, accidents, poisonings, and trouble with relatives. Okay, so hyperactivity can also be a disbalance here. As I mentioned, we want to balance it out. Like, yes, you can do a lot of things, but we also need to balance it out with some good sleep and good rest so that you can be more productive. And trouble with pets or small animals as well. So if you have a strong Mars, usually it makes you an amazing animal trainer. But if it's weak, then animals may attack you or have problems with pets and small animals. So those are some of the things that could happen with Mars in the 6th. Remember that these are just general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you book a consultation with me where we can go deep into your own individual Vedic chart, and you can book that in the description here below. Alrighty, that is for my people with the Mars in the 6th. If you want to strengthen it, go check out the remedies in the beginning of the video. Now let us do Mars in the 7th house. Welcome to anybody who has a Mars in the 7th house. This is for you. So Mars in the 7th house is a little bit of a tricky placement. First and foremost, because this is the house of relationships and compromises and fairness. Mars here really needs to learn to be disciplined in managing other people. And because Mars is such an independent energy, it can cause some issues here. This is when we have Mangala dosha. So if you've ever heard about, compatibility, and if you have a Mangala dosha, it can bring you problems in relationships. This is Mangala dosha, that you have Mars in the 7th house. You fight with your partner. You could fight with your partner a lot, be in conflict with your partner a lot, have an attitude of my way or the highway in a relationship, or not just love relationships, but any relationship. And so these people who have Mars in the 7th really do well with people who also have Mars in the 7th. Okay? That's your best partner. If not, people may just feel like you're always fighting, or you attract a person that may be aggressive and fighting with you all the time in your relationships. So here what we have is stimulated partnerships. So it could be if it's a good Mars, well aspected, and it's in a good position and it's a strong Mars, then you can get some really good results. Like, you are very clever, you get people to do what you want them to do, you're persuasive, you're helping people to become the best of themselves or get their most out of their life. Like, you could be an amazing supporting role to others. You have your goal is oriented, you're a smart businessman. That's one of your greatest qualities, that you could be an amazing at business, amazing at negotiating, amazing at dealing with clients, amazing at building your own business. But again, the business partnerships is where you really need to learn to be good with them so that it doesn't cause problems here. You are a very good trader. Also, you may have a lot of charm about you. If you really learn to master yourself and master how you're going to come across in groups of people, or how you're going to make relations with others, then you could become really charming, really good at public relations. You may know a lot of people. You may have a big network of people that you naturally are connected to and that you've made really good impressions with. They trust you, they like you. You're very active with your relationships. You're not lazy about taking care of them, being there for them, calling them up, see how they are, maintaining your relationships. Even if it's just a small client, you're very good at these things, okay? And if you channel this into your love partner, into your marriage, then it becomes even better. Your marriage can really benefit from this. You have a lot of spontaneity and you have very strong reflexes naturally, and you're very strong-willed, and you are very vigorous. So there is a lot of energy here. If you really, I highly suggest that you do remedies regardless, because Mars in the 7th house is not an easy placement. So the remedies at the beginning of the month can really help you to maintain this charming, very diplomatic, very fair person, okay? That is when you do great. When you are always looking at things from a fair perspective, and not just fair for you, but fair for all. And when you practice more of this, of like, okay, it's not just about what I want, but it's about how can we make everybody happy, like really mastering your diplomatic skills and your charisma, then that is when you get the best out of this Mars in the 7th house, okay? Most of your relationships, you do very good with like male relationships, with business partnerships with other males. But the only thing here is be very cautious with your love and marriage, that you are not being too self-centered, too aggressive, or too about your own needs, because that can start causing issues, okay? Now, if there is a weakness to the Mars by either aspect or retrograde or debilitation, then the Mars here is going to give different results. And it could be results that are more like, you provoke fights, you are not afraid of conflict, you provoke the fights, you provoke disputes with others. So again, you can break the harmony between relationships that can really cause more issues than good. Also, there might be a selfish partner. Either your partner is selfish or you act selfishly in your partnership. So again, learning about service to your partner, learning about selflessness. And really, you really need to have a consultation to find out the best compatibility for you when it comes to love, because you have a very tricky situation here. Also, you can attract angry and aggressive partners again. So that's why the compatibility is very important. You may lack sustaining power because the Mars is weak. There could also be an energy of being impolite, inconsiderate, and also, you may fall in love and get into intimate relationships way too quickly. So again, really check your compatibility before you decide to lock it down, because later on it could cause it could become an issue. Okay, the impulsibility in going into relationships so quickly, you may have to pay for that issue later. Also, you may also ruin businesses if you're being too selfish and not being fair enough. Master that diplomacy. That could really help you in your partnerships naturally. You may be a little bit of be careful with practicing any hazardous business practices. underhanded, schemy thingies in business. You want to be very fair. You want to be very open. You want to be very, what you see is what you get, with a lot of integrity in business. And this is how you do very well with it. Headaches or head injuries can happen here. Also, reproductive problems can also happen here for you. So again, we want to strengthen that Mars with the remedies for the Mars that I put at the beginning of the video. Those can really help you. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you book a one-on-one consultation with me, especially to check out the compatibility with a partner, business partner, or love partner that you want to commit to. You really, really, really need to consult an astrologer so that you can find the best relationship situations for you. Alrighty, so those were your messages, Mars in the 7th, people. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. And now we're going to be doing Mars in the 8th. Having Mars in the 8th is a fantastic placement because Mars is the natural ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio being the 8th house, Mars feels extremely comfortable actually in this house. And this is a wonderful energy because it gives us a burning life. And my favorite thing about this is that the Mars becomes not just a warrior of life, but it becomes a psychological warrior, where the person who has a Mars in the 8th house is able to fight against the mental constructs or the fears that the mind tries to create within them. So you are like that person who, even if life brings you down, even if life gives you challenges, even if there's a sudden event, a tragic thing, you don't stay wallowing and weeping about it. Okay, that happened. Brush your shoulders off. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger, and you move forward. So Mars here makes you very powerful because it gives you the energy to be able to move through difficulties of life, the sudden events of life, the unexpected events of life with strength, with determination. This is that person who fights their inner demons and who becomes stronger and stronger psychologically day and day and day. So it gives you a high vitality also naturally because you're strong within psychologically, you're also strong in your body, okay? It's not easy for you to die, let's say that, okay? If you really take care of your body, you can live for 100 years or more. Your vitality is strong here, okay? It also gives you a Martian spirit. So it gives you that warrior natural spirit, psychological spirit, where you don't, you see that, okay, all the challenges and all the obstacles and all the things that life has made me suffer, I'm not a victim to it. I'm somebody that, okay, that happened. I learn from it. I become better and I move forward. So this is one of the reasons why you're so strong naturally. You're expressive, you're active, you help and you get a lot of help from others, from other people naturally. People want to help you, people want to support you, people want to be there for you. So other people are also, you gain a lot of advantage from other people and other people's resources naturally. So people are always here to help you. So don't be afraid to ask for help, to reach out, because you will definitely get it. There's also an energy of idealism, very passionate. Naturally, you are very passionate. Your emotions are very passionate. Your sex drive can be very strong and powerful. But again, with a lot of discipline, we need to have a lot of discipline here in order for you to become that iron psychology and becoming so strong naturally. We also have a lot of skills in life and extensions and health activities. So you're very good at helping people in their most challenging times. You could be a great psychologist. You could be a great ER, emergency person who works amazing in emergency situations. You are that person that assesses the tragedy, assesses the emergency in the best possible way. You have involvement and interest in the hidden matters as well. You are naturally very attracted to the occult, very attracted to the mysticism of life, very attracted to the hidden things of life. You may be very good at seeing patterns. You may be very good at seeing, through the lies. Okay, it's very hard to lie to you. You know when it's the truth and you know when they're lying to you. There could be a very strong attraction to conspiracy theories or to alternative ways of thinking or to hidden matters, taboo matters. You are not afraid of these taboos. You're not afraid of the darkness. Let's call it like that. You're that person that is not afraid of the darkness. And the contrary, you master controlling yourself in the darkness and becoming more powerful. And so you do very well by learning astrology, learning divination. You can have a strong psychic ability. That's why people can't lie to you. You have a strong energy for understanding other people's psychologies and understanding your own psychology and polishing it so that you're not living a disempowered life, a victimized life, or a life of fear where you're living in fear and trauma. Like, no, you overcome these things for sure. There's an energy of an amazing researcher, great researcher. You naturally know how to research, how to get to the bottom of something. You could be fascinated by mysteries, and you just are really good at discovering the mystery as well. So if you were some sort of detective, you'd be amazing. Cybersecurity, you'd be amazing. Anything where it's like, I can catch the person who's trying to lie, who's trying to cheat, who's trying to hide something, you're very good at getting this person, which also makes you really good, not just at detective work, but also at spying. You could also be a great spy where you just know how to not get caught. And also, there is a love of the extraordinary. So it's very important for you to meditate, to get connected to the divine source, to get connected to the mysticism of life. This is just going to enhance your life even more, elevate you even more, become like that spiritual warrior. You have that ability to become a very powerful spiritual warrior naturally. Now, if your Mars is debilitated, retrograding, or in a bad aspect or in a bad sign that is not very favorable, or is just weak overall, you may be experiencing some different things, like being too worried, being too vulnerable, feeling afraid of being vulnerable, wanting to control things too much, hyperactive, hypersensitive, not trusting anything or anyone to the point that it isolates you completely, being too aggressive yet shy. There's like a repressed aggression, a repressed anger, but then you're shy about it and you don't express it. You could be both a victim or the victimizer. So be careful with this energy also if it goes into here, like you're not really utilizing that powerful Mars here that can make you very psychologically powerful. There could be a lack of self-sufficiency. Also broken relationships. This is the house of longevity, especially of relationships. So if we are not strong at becoming a better version of ourselves, then this could bring us into broken relationships. You know, we evolve, and in the 8th house is the evolving of yourself within a relationship. So if we're not evolving, then we end relationships. So this could also affect it in that way. Problems with siblings and neighbors. It could also bring recklessness with money. Like if you know how to manage your emotions, you can become a really good trader here. But if you don't know, then you can become too impulsive in your trades, in your stocks, in your finances, in your investments mostly, in leveraging, using other people's monies. You may be too reckless in doing those things, so be careful with that as well. You may lack the support from others. If the Mars is debilitated here, you may have also sudden endings, sudden changes, sudden tragedies, sudden situations, and if you don't know how to manage them correctly, then it just digs you more into this hole of victimization. There could be some scandals that happen here for some of you guys. If you know some scandalous things come out and affect your reputation. There could be also substance abuse. There could be pornography addiction. There could be also burns that naturally kind of happen, or poisonings or surgeries, thefts and reproductive problems, and also in inflamed body. I also seen that like death can come from knives or sharp things or vaccines, anything that penetrates the skin. So also be very cautious with these things, especially if your Mars is weakened. So if you want to strengthen your Mars, I highly suggest that you go check out at the beginning of the video. You will find remedies on how to strengthen your Mars. and that could really help you. And also, if understand that these are general messages. If you would like me to go deep into your chart and actually get the prediction for your specific chart, then I highly suggest that you book a consultation with me, book a one-on-one session with me, where we go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and you can ask me as many questions as you would like, my beautiful Mars in the 8th. Alrighty, those were your messages for Mars in the 8th, and now we're going to be doing Mars in the 9th. Mars in the 9th house is a fantastic placement here because it is the original ruler of the 9th house is Sagittarius, and Jupiter and Mars get along very well. So Mars here is a very nice aspect because it gives you the active energy for fortune and for philosophy. So these are my philosophers. These are the ones who are, you know, when you have a strong Mars here, it can make you somebody who's very grateful, somebody who's very faithful, somebody who has a lot of optimism naturally in your life. And because of this faith and this optimism, and somebody who, you follow the Dharma and the duties that need to get done, you naturally are somebody who's fortunate and who attracts a lot of good blessings into your life. So here, there's an active for long-term distance traveling. You really love to travel. You love to travel. You love to see new countries, see new places, see new cultures. This fascinates you. This makes you really expand your mind. You have a natural energy for adventure, for seeking the truth, and for seeking, faith and the connection to God. It makes you very righteous naturally when the Mars is strong here. It also gives you, it helps you to build up a fortune fast, especially if you practice a lot of gratitude and humility and responsibility and discipline. You definitely get some really good results with your positivity. There's also siblings that prosper. Your father prospers. You may have a very strong, active connection with your own father. You are a leader in a spiritual or philosophical group or movement. You're like a natural preacher. When people hear you, they're like activated by you. They're like, wow, that person has so much passion, has so much, connection to God, has so much, energy to preach. So here Mars is giving you some really, really good results to influence people to do the right thing, to follow a righteous path, to follow something that is good for them. A natural preacher, very, very good. You have this. It also gives you a lot of executive, lawyer, business-like, corporate business person. Like you are just somebody who people can count on because you naturally are very responsible. You do the right thing and you make sure that you always are doing the right thing. Also, it gives you a joy for life. Like people may perceive you to be that person that is just always happy, always optimistic. Even if things are looking bad, you're like, no, we got this, we can make it happen. And you motivate others naturally. You're like that natural motivator that people have, that people want around, because you just bring the masses and you motivate them all. And so people really like to have you around because of that. You're a free thinker. You're expansive. You are, a truth seeker. It's naturally within you. You have a very expansive vision. You're very idealistic. And you really, believe in your ideals and believe in your dharma. You're self-sufficient and you like adventures, and you also love to have adventures with your partner as well. So very, very fun energy here. Very nice energy when this Mars is strong in the 9th house. When it is weak, debilitated, or badly aspected or retrograde, then you may have some different results. Definitely go check out the remedies at the beginning of the video, because that's going to help you to get some remedies so that you can strengthen this Mars, so that you can get the good qualities of this placement. But if it's weak, it might give you trouble with partners, siblings, because it is third from the 7th. It could also give friction and broken relationships with father. You fight a lot with your father. You disagree with your father a lot. So be careful with this. It could weaken a lot your Mars naturally and your good luck and fortune. It could also make you aggressive with authorities, aggressive with guru, aggressive with teachers, aggressive with mentors, or have these fights or conflicts with them, which again will definitely hurt your horoscope if you give into this. You might have a little bit of a stressful life because there's not enough optimism and gratitude and faith in your life. And so you may feel a little bit stressed. You may have illnesses for mother, because it's 6 from the 4th. So it can give you problems with the mother as well. And it also gives changes in philosophies and beliefs. You're jumping from one belief to another. You're trying this and then trying that, and not really becoming centered in one philosophy and one perception of life. This could also make you skeptical. Now you don't believe in anything. Now you're like, well, now I'm not going to believe in that, or not going to believe in this. And if you are this atheistic sort of attitude, then you really are not taking the most advantage of having a Mars in the 9th house. You are really not getting the most benefit with this attitude. Also, it can make you intolerant to religious differences, or irreligious, becoming too much of a fanatic in your religion. So again, staying open-minded, staying flexible, not becoming too dogmatic in your views of how you see things. It could be also give you legal problems or expenses here, because you're not getting along with authorities. So that could also be a difficult part here. It could give you fast downturns in fortune and accidents while traveling. So be very cautious with traveling, especially long distance. And it can give you problems with sciatica and respiratory alignments. Okay, so if you want to strengthen your Mars, I definitely suggest go check out at the beginning of the video. You will find remedies for Mars that could really, really help you to become stronger. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage and book a one-on-one session with me, where we can really go deep into your natal chart to find out everything that it has. So book one today in the description here below. Alrighty, my beautiful Mars in the 9th house people, those were your messages. And now we're going to be doing Mars in the 10th house. This is a fantastic placement for Mars. When Mars comes into the 10th house, it is practically an exalted form of Mars, because Mars becomes exalted in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn is the natural ruler of the 10th house. So here you have a warrior career, okay? You want to be in work. You are the natural workaholic, but the workaholic that is like the executive, the business owner, the one who, you want to have a strong career in your life, and you're not lazy about it. Like, you are not lazy about job, work. You need to go and do it. Like, you like to be busy. You like to be working. You like to be executing big things, working for a big company, or managing a big company, or being the owner of a big company. You love this. You do so good when you get out of the house and you make a name for yourself out into the world. This is when your Mars can really get activated. It wants to go see the world. It wants to, conquer things outside of itself. And so Mars here can give you an amazing career where people remember you for being that active, go-getter, leader, disciplined person. It also shows that you may work a lot with men. Okay, even if you're a woman or a man, your office is mainly about men, or you go into a career that is male oriented. So, or working for men, working with men, or working for the military or warriors, this could be a fantastic, fantastic thing for you. So here we have, a very strong, active leader, a very smart and cheerful and unafraid to innovate. You're a powerful innovator. You're a powerful executive. Naturally, you see what people need. You are fearless in your career. If you want to go and talk to somebody of authority, you do it. If you want to go make relations with somebody of high power, you do it. And so this gives you really good results. It also gives you a timeless pursuit of your goals. Yes, you definitely need to have goals in your life. If not, you're going to feel like life is just goals in your life is very powerful. Having goals in your life, having driven ambitions in your life is something that is very beneficial for you naturally. You take quick action to get results. You are self-sufficient. You have success in mechanical, industrial activities, or any corporations or executive activities. You have a lot of success in these things. And if they involve things that Mars rules, like agriculture, real estate, restaurants, engineering, mechanical things, industrial things, sometimes even like technology things, like you would do very, very good with this in your career. We also have a warrior energy. Naturally, people remember you for being that go-getter, driven, warrior-like person. You're best at short-term tasks. You perform physical labor or use your body in work. This is good for you, to get out there and move your body, that you're not like inside the house just sitting around, but just like actively making things happen. Moving your body forward is very good for you. It also it gives you an important career in life, and you could be even famous when you have a Mars in the 10th house. This is a very strong Raj Yoga naturally. And so Mars here is definitely, giving you some powerful energies in this lifetime to become a very strong, well-known person of, you came to work. Let's just say that. You came to work and you came to make it happen. And especially if you work with integrity and you work with, with not just integrity, but discipline and duty, and with these righteous pillars, then you really become an amazing example to follow. So Mars here does extremely well when it is in strong energy. When it is weak and it is not very strong because it is maybe debilitated or retrograde or badly aspected or in an enemy sign, you can get some difficult, you can get the opposite results here, where maybe you are a little bit forceful or you push too hard to work, now getting into workaholic energy, not knowing how to balance home life and work life. You may also be frustrated with your career, where you haven't really gotten that big break or the career that you want. Maybe you're having too much pioneering and not necessarily sticking to something that is more long-term. You get into business debts, so be careful with this. You may also have a separation or dishonor from mother because it is far away from the 4th house. So always, protect your mother, check out your mother, like go see your mom, like talk to your mom, like even if it's just checking up on her for 5 minutes on the phone, this is going to be helpful for you. So don't just neglect your mother completely. It might make you impatient. It might get you a lot of interruptions or breaks in your career if the Mars is not strong here. It can give you career trouble through siblings and neighbors. And it could also give father's career is cut short because of your chart. So make sure that you strengthen your Mars in the 10th house with the remedies at the beginning of the video so that you can get more of the great results that this placement can really give you. It can give you knee problems physically. It can give you problems in your knee or acidic stomach or home and car problems or irregular heart. So Mars here it needs to be strengthened if you're having any of these physical symptoms or any of the bad results here. So make sure you check out the remedies. So remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you actually book a one-on-one session with me where we can go deeper into what the Mars in the 10th house means for you. And you can book one in the description here below. Alrighty, so that was for you, Mars in the 10th, and now we're going to be doing Mars in the 11th. Welcome. If you have Mars in the 11th house, this is for you. Mars in the 11th house is a very good placement because here you have the placement of active opportunities. The 11th house is the house of connections, networks, friendships, and collaborations with other people, your dreams and aspirations. So you are a big dreamer, okay? You are somebody who goes for the gold, and because this is also the house of big gains, you can make some big gains in your life quickly, okay? Especially with males, like friends who are males really help you, or networks of people of males really help you to get to your dreams and aspirations quicker. There is quick gains of wealth. There's also a lot of optimism. You have a lot of friends. You're somebody who likes to be with friends, with friendships, with others. You actively want to be part of your community, actively want to be part of the group of friends. You love to have this sort of connection with others. It's very good for you. You're a natural entrepreneur, very charming, very likable. And, this is the reason why you have such a big network. And And the network is coming because you have this ability to connect with others and to be so charming with others naturally. You have many friends, and you are also very linked to influential people naturally. So a lot of your assets really come from the connections that you have. So Mars here makes you very powerful, and that you definitely need to be socializing a lot. You're not a loner. And it's good for you to make friends and to make acquaintances and to connect with others, because they'll definitely become a source of abundance for you in the future. There's also a lot of inspirational, you're somebody who's very inspirational. You're somebody who is very fun to be around. People, when they're around you, they get very energetic and they get very full of life, which is a wonderful thing to share with others. You have good cash flow that naturally comes to you. You're never, cut on cash. You have many opportunities, many collaborations from everywhere. You know how to connect other people to also give them opportunities. And you're very active in uniting others with the right people. You make their dreams come true. You make other people's dreams come true. And this just enhances your ability to make more gains in your life. You are very clever, and your older sibling, because of your chart, also prospers because you have this Mars in the 11th house. So these are the best things that can happen when you have Mars strong in the 11th house. But if Mars is debilitated in the 11th house, if there's bad aspect, if it's in a bad house or bad position or a bad sign, or it's retrograde, then it can give you different results here. And the results can be more of a financial complications and expenditures, having problems with friends, fighting with associations, fighting with social groups, fighting with communities that eventually don't help you. There could be a deceptive or bad advice from friends that can happen here as well if you're not surrounded by the right communities and the right association. So very important that you are surrounded by good association in your life, because that is going to be, the make it or break it here for you. Older siblings also may give you some bad advice. So if the Mars is debilitated here, and people of influence may be involved in some fraud, may be involved in things that are not good to make big gains. So again, make sure that your associations are clean, pure, and that it's people of high righteousness and discipline. Those are going to be the ones that are give you the best results. Okay, you may have a little bit of erratic cash flow, like the cash flow is not really flowing too well. So this is going to give you different results. And also impatience and disagreements with friends and older siblings. So again, don't get into so many conflicts with your connections and with your friendships and with others, because it might end up becoming not the best situation. It can also give you this an enchantment in romances, naturally. And also because it is 7th from the 5th. So you may be a little bit disappointed with romantic relationships here. And you may get ear ailments or fatigued or teeth and gum troubles if it's more of a physical issue. So if you're experiencing any of these things, these negative things in the Mars in the 11th house, then I highly suggest that you go check out the remedies at the beginning of the video. Are going to help you so that you can strengthen this Mars and get the better results of Mars in the 11th house. Now, those are your messages, and remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message to your situation, then I highly suggest that you take advantage of my promo. Use the link here below to book a one-on-one session with me, where we can go deep into your natal chart, your current transits, and we can also see the real truth of your Mars in the 11th house placement. Alrighty, those were your messages. Thank you so much for being here. And now we're going to be doing Mars in the 12th house. Welcome. If you have Mars in the 12th house, then this is for you. Mars in the 12th house is a very spiritual and mystical placement. This is where we can have losses through speed. So here we have the best thing that we can do with this Mars in the 12th house is that we focus on spiritual activities. Some of you guys may even do yoga or meditation or martial arts. Channeling your energy in this way is going to be one of the best things to do, because here Mars becomes like that spiritual warrior, like the Shaolin monk. Okay, and it wants to be generous. It wants to be somebody who is here to help other people in transcending their material existence. So they could be powerful meditation teachers, yoga teachers, helping them tap into their spirituality. There's also this energy of, being a healer, a very powerful healer, especially when it comes to healing people from people that have passed on. You may have very strong mediumship skills, like you can see what other people can't see. You can help them clear out their subconscious baggage and their subconscious patterns that are not helping them. So this is why you become an amazing counselor or become a really powerful healer naturally. You give really natural, very good advice. Okay, you also benefit a lot from travels, especially faraway lands. If you go to a faraway land from where you actually were born, this is a great benefit to you, and it's going to give you a lot of spiritual journeys at the same time. So spiritual journeys, long travels, going to faraway lands, all of this is very healthy for your Mars in the 12th house. It also rejuvenates through solitude. You need time alone. You need time for yourself. You need time to just be with your own energy. And that also helps you to regenerate yourself, because you're a little bit like a psychic sponge. You can feel what others can't see, and you help other people, and you're in this healing sort of energy. And so you need your alone time for your spiritual practices, to go within, to rest. Sometimes if you're having a problem or an issue that you can't solve, one of the best things that you can do is just go take a nap. Like sleep it out. And then when you wake up, you will feel like, oh, you know what? It's not that big of a problem. I feel better. Like I found a solution. I dreamed of a solution. So, rest is very important for you. And having those moments of solitude is very important for you, so that you can get the right information of what to do next and how to take action. You are very spiritually innocent, so it's very important to find good teachers, a bona fide guru that really shows you the way, because you could be an amazing disciple when it comes to your spirituality. You are a secret worker. You love to work behind the scenes. You could be a good spy, or you can, work behind the scenes, do things behind the scenes. You don't necessarily need to be up front, but you're like the one pulling the strings in the back and doing the magic and making everything kind of happen. That's what you're really good at. You are very active in your health. You want to take care of your health. You want to be healthy, not just physically, but also mentally and spiritually and emotionally. You're very good with nonprofits, volunteering work, educational organizations, and also you're very quick to give pleasure. There could be a little bit of, you might have some kinky things that you like to do behind closed doors. So you also kind of explore your sexuality, and especially if you spiritualize your sexuality, then this could be something really beneficial for you. Now, if Mars is debilitated, badly aspected, or in the enemy sign or retrograde, then it can give you some different results. And I highly suggest that you do the remedies at the beginning of the video so that you can strengthen this Mars energy. If you're experiencing anything like spending too quickly, losing a lot of money, there's like a lot of losses all the time, especially when it comes to your finances. You have to be very cautious with this Mars here. I really suggest that you don't do any getting rich quick schemes or anything like this, because you're not going to get some good results. Okay, gets intimate too soon with people that you want to sleep with. You get too intimate too soon, and then ends up kind of causing you trouble. Then good, you're afraid to lose your freedom, and so you maintain yourself quite detached from everything. You may repressed energies, danger of hospitalization, or danger of ending up in jail, or danger of ending up in something isolated. So again, do the right thing. Be more in your spiritual energies more than anything, because that's what's going to protect you and keep your Mars strong. Mars here wants you to discover the spiritual side of life more than anything. It's a spiritual journey for you in this lifetime if you have Mars in the 12th house. Also, imprisonment, fines, penalties, and accusations. So again, if you're dealing too much with the problems of the world and not having enough spirituality, life may isolate you so that you can have this time alone to really grow in your spiritual energies. We also have accumulation of troubles in foreign lands. that can also give you problems. You can be too secretive. You may be, have a little bit of sleeping disorders, having too many nightmares, where you're constantly dreaming that you're being killed or killing people, like really violent, aggressive dreams that could be affecting you at night. And there could also be, you may be divided between celibacy and being too sexually active. So finding a balance, like also getting too perverted into like secret kinky things, that could also be an issue of a Mars debilitated or not very strong in this 12th house. And in the body, it can give you fevers, troubles with the eyes, and also your feet. You may have issues with your feet or injuries in your feet, ankles, and digestive problems, inflammatory conditions, or possible lameness or blood disorders. So all of these things can be affecting if you have a weak Mars in the 12th house. So make sure to check out the remedies in the beginning of the video. That's going to help you to become stronger in your Mars so that you can get more of the good qualities of this placement. And remember that these are general messages. If you would like to have a specific message, then I highly suggest that you book a one-on-one consultation with me. There we can go deep into a natal chart, your current transits, and really decipher what this Mars in the 12th and all your other planets really means for you. Alrighty, those were your messages. Thank you so much, my Mars in the 12th, for being here. And thank you so much to all my brothers and sisters for being here for this Mars in the different houses. I hope that they help. Love you guys so much. Thank you for the likes, the comments, and for the hypes. Truly appreciate you guys. And I'll be seeing you guys on the next video. Haribol.